Sheyda, what's wrong today?
My body's not functioning correctly. What the fuck do you mean?
And unfortunately, I'm a little hangry, so
Oh my God.
This is when Sheyda and I clash.
The vibes. The vibes are cray right now. I'm gonna have to bring some bubbly sunshine, ladies. Smiling releases dopamine. It tricks the brain into being happy. I'm so fucking happy right now.
Have you ever done that when you're crying?
Yeah.
I have.
You're sobbing and you're like, ah.
No, literally.
I haven't done that, but I've started dying laughing.
You ever do something so dramatic when you're like having an actual breakdown? Like I've like slammed my back against the wall and like slowly slid down sobbing and then just been like, I'm in my own movie. Welcome back to the And Also podcast with your hosts, me, Summery Dean, Sheyda Fasari, and Madeline Guiney. So grab a drink and get cozy. You have now entered the group chat. Whether we're talking about Botox, filler, lipo, plastic surgery, breast implants, butt implants, everybody's getting something done in today's day and age. But is it getting too far? Are we all morphing in to the same person? That is what we're talking about today on the And Also podcast. Welcome back.
Wow.
Oh, I like that like cold open thing you just did.
So welcome back is
Welcome back.
Yeah, you nailed that.
I did like that.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Had a little pause there in the middle, but we'll work on it.
Well, you know, Sheyda and I have been watching Love Island recently.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are some of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen. I'm like obsessed with everyone that is on the show, truly have a crush on them. And one of my favorite things while I'm watching is to like hypothesize about what I think they've had done, and then going back and looking at their Instagram, not in a negative way, but like, girl, you got some good work going on here. Like you've really done a good job, or might need to tone it down a little bit. Might need to tone it down a little bit.
Okay, so we're starting to see that most people on most shows are probably doing something, right? Like, is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
I think most
People?
at least most women, once they get like 25 and up, are dabbling or trying out something. At least in the Western world, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I feel like even younger, honestly.
I feel, well, I mean, if we're just going to lay it all out there, I got Botox for the first time when I was 21. To be specific, botulinum neurotoxin is what you get to freeze the muscles in your body, but the brand was Botox. Now I do something different, but I started it when I was 21, and I did it because it's preventative. The quicker you start, the better, and it works long term, because it'll get rid of hard lines, but they're still there, sort of thing.
Okay, so you can't reverse the lines once when they get there, but you can prevent them.
You can, in some cases, reverse hard lines, but it is a little bit more of a task. Whereas if you start ahead of the line, it just never forms. And the issue is finding someone who knows what they're doing enough to keep you having movement, but stopping any hard lines from setting.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of people can go and just like freeze your whole forehead, but at 21, that's not going to look normal. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, okay, I think that brings up an even maybe more interesting question. If people are getting this at 21
or younger, I'm sure girls in LA are getting it.
I literally saw a girl's TikTok today of her posting her high school transformation, like from her freshman year headshot to her senior year. And she was a new person at the end. And everyone was like, this is insane. This girl has a new face at 18.
Was it maturity, or was it,
no,
was she getting
like
stuff done?
Filler and everything all in her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what the legal parameters are. I'm sure if like, as long as you have your parents.
She might have just gotten it at 18, like once she turned 18.
Well,
but it's crazy because at some point your face isn't even like, I feel like fully formed at that point.
I mean, at 16, I think you can get like implants and stuff. Like I knew a girl at 16 who had a boob job.
Yeah, me too. Or nose jobs and at 16 too. But why are we doing this? I mean, are we going too far? Which I think we should talk about Instagram face.
I think there is I mean, literally everyone looks the same these days. Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's define what Instagram face is.
Well,
so what would we consider Instagram face?
It's like the Kim Kardashian face. Like I think
Kim K
everyone,
face. Tiny
she's the blueprint.
nose. Yeah, tiny nose.
Button nose, a little upturned.
Yeah, a little upturned. The big lips.
Yeah.
The really pretty, elegant, like tight jaw, high cheekbone, but still youthful
tiny chin,
face.
also a short
The
label
ponytail,
folia, whatever these
the
are.
eyebrow lift, eyebrows are really coming in, that straight brow that goes into your forehead, that people are getting either with Oh, we have a delivery, guys.
Wow.
We have.
Wow.
We were
so
late to
much.
order the alcohol today, so our lovely producer is coming in hot.
Per usual.
Hot usual.
is right. Yeah, Dugan.
Hot, mama.
One more thing.
Red can get
Guys.
it. Red.
You're gonna give it to Madeline?
I am going to give it up to Madeline.
Oh.
Sheyda, that was selfless.
Not happy about it, I'm going to be honest.
Guys, this is possibly Stuart, the most handsome boy you'll ever meet.
Hi, Stuart.
Guys, I'm just gonna plop him right here.
Oh my God.
Here, he needs to be seen.
Break.
Oh, he's doing
He's
so
perfect.
good. This is our fourth member of the And Also podcast.
Yeah.
Also a co-producer,
Co-editor.
co-writer, co-creator.
Oh no, I feel like he's stressed.
Oh,
Don't be
He'll
stressed.
settle in. He'll settle.
He'll settle. God, he's cute. Okay.
So I think that's a really good
Description.
example.
And it's a tiny, tiny waist.
Yeah.
Big old fake boobies and a big old butt.
So I feel like I'm seeing a lot of fake boobs right now with like high profiles, more than I've seen before. I feel like there was this trend going on where it was like very subtle. Let's actually go back. I think when breast implants first came out, we were talking like high and hard.
Yep.
High and
Like
hard
bolted
looking.
on.
Bolted on.
The 90s fake
You could
boob
see them.
was a bolted on boob.
You knew that they were fake.
It was the Pamela Anderson boob.
It was the Pamela Anderson boob.
But I feel like people liked that look.
Yes,
They
that
liked
was the
it.
look.
Yeah.
But
That was the
then
look.
I think in the last maybe 10 years, a lot of people were getting boob
It's the low
jobs. But it was
profile,
low profile.
like
It was
natural.
under the muscle a little bit. So maybe it
Yes.
looked a little bit more natural.
It's like the teardrop look. They're low hanging fruit. Not like low, but they're like, they look like a boob.
They're not
Totally.
bolted on.
And you almost could not even tell.
To the point that I texted you yesterday. I was like, do all these girls have fake on Love Island? Are they fake boobs? You can't tell.
I can't tell. They look so good.
They look immaculate.
Probably yes. But I feel like within the last year, I'm seeing more girls go back to that like high
Really?
profile, harder look. Like I've seen multiple influencers go from like a lower teardrop style to like a harder upper boob.
We're losing Stu.
We're losing,
Stuart needs
we're
to
losing
check out.
Stu.
He doesn't
I
want to
think
be
you can just
here.
put him down.
Yeah, try it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Stu. Be free.
Hold on, let me move my mic.
Go ahead, Stuart.
Oh, there he goes.
His little waddle.
The waddle.
He's like popping.
Here's my thing that I'll say. I am all about self-improvement in a healthy manner. Like I love looking like me. I love looking Persian. I love looking like my ancestral roots with a little bit of pizzazz. That's where I'm at, right? Like I want Sheyda to look like Sheyda, but the best version of that. Where I start to get worried is, my mom suffered from breast implant illness. She had breast implants for I think 25 years, and now they're completely gone. And she's gone through explant surgery, and she is still recovering. Like 6 years out from having them removed, she is still having like brain fog issues. And watching her kind of deteriorating when it got really bad was one of the hardest things I've ever had to like watch kind of in home. She just was a different person. And when you have people doing things, especially in America, when I feel like this beauty industry is so glamorized, you're not being educated on like the harm of it. Like no girl is sitting in the plastic surgery office being told that implants come in a black box warning case. Like it's like, by the way, these will kill you. You don't ever see the case that the implants come in, right? Like there is no way to actually put them in your body without your body treating them like a foreign object inside of the body.
Yeah.
Like it's not gonna go, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's that. When I think about that aspect of self-improvement, I get upset and I get stressed and I get worried.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of people just kind of jumping into something without looking at all the consequences of it, of the people that I feel like lip fillers for the longest time were like the biggest thing. Like everyone was like, it became accessible to the normal person to go get your lips done. And you see so many people go from having like nothing to putting 2 syringes in their lips the first time they get it done.
Yeah.
And it's like, the person that did that to you should literally lose their license because 1, that's insane.
Yeah.
And 2, like what is going to happen with all of that when we go from 0 to 100 in 6 months if it's not done properly? I mean, putting 2 vials in whatever, someone that has nothing to support it shouldn't be done at all. But like, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff, I feel like people have so much access to it at this point that anyone can really do it and get it done, and it's not necessarily done properly, or a lot of times like with the education of like, you might want this, but it might not be the best thing for you.
I can 100% speak to that. You obviously both know that I was obsessed with big lips. Like I hopped on the lip filler train pretty early on. I went so far as to take out a small loan to get my lips done, a $600 loan to get my lips done.
Puppies are financed.
I used to, I think I was like 20, no, I must have been 22. Obviously Kylie Jenner had her big boom, but I was also noticing that all the girls that were blowing up on Instagram, like all the girls that were getting tons of followers or like people were like praising online, they had these big full lips. And I would literally obsessively scroll back and be like, these aren't what she was born with. Absolutely not. And
God,
so
that's
then
my favorite.
This idea in my head was like, I can have this. I know I can have this. And I remember I took out the small loan and I went to this place to get my lips done, and they did 1 full syringe and they filled me up. And the way that I was swollen afterwards, I mean, my lips were touching the bottom of my nose.
The after pictures you sent immediately were...
We'll have to put one in.
They were petrifying to me. I was like, oh my God, Summer.
Petrifying.
Something just happened and we have to fix it.
Petrifying. And then even after they went down, I mean, I loved them because I was like blind to it, because I was like, I finally got full lips. Like I am feeling myself. I got it. But I look back on those times and it just looked like I had 2 solid like meat sausages on my lips. And I'm like, what the hell but it was accessible. Like the fact that I could do an afterpay situation and freaking pay for lips, that's a scary thing.
I was gonna say, that's scary to me.
And
But
it's also
that's
that you can walk in same day, get it done.
get it
you
done.
get a consultation and you get it done in the same, like you're not even going home and thinking about it and discussing it with people. It's just like, I'm here, let's do it.
But you could do that with essentially everything. Everything now is accessible. From BBLs are one of the most dangerous procedures you can be doing today. Thank God those are phasing out, truly, thank God. But the amount of, again, do what makes you feel good, but sometimes we have just taken it too far. And that's what I wonder with our society, right? Like I'm all about self-improvement. I think that's great when you want to make yourself feel a little bit better, but to what end?
Yeah.
To what end? Especially if we're all going to look like each other, right? Like we want to keep our features, but when we're tweaking it just a little bit to look like something, what are we trying to look like? And that's kind of that Instagram face. Like,
Yeah.
we're all morphing. And actually, I'll reference this TikTok I saw. This girl, she did a skit and she was like, she was pretending to be somebody and she was like, God, we need more natural faces. We need more normal features. Like, I just wish people were more normal. And then it's like, normal person steps onto a show and it's like, that bitch is ugly. Holy shit, she needs work done. It's like, we want to celebrate the individuality and like the natural features, but do we really? Because has society raised the standard to a point where that's not acceptable anymore?
I feel like it'll be almost like a cycle, because I think that there are trends in what we're seeing, not only with fashion but with plastic surgery. Like you just said, 10, 20 years ago, the bolted on look was what everyone wanted, and then they're going to a little and now we're going to a little more natural, and we're coming back to people wanting the bolted on look. I think it is kind of a cycle of what people go through. Right now we're in a phase where everyone is starting to kind of look like each other, and there's no individuality in people like celebrating their features, their things that make them different. But maybe we're not there yet, but we could be coming up on the cusp of people like falling more back into like liking the things that make them look different.
I think that's valid. Have you two ever looked at a photo and been like, I need to do something.
Every single day. Every single day. I would love,
because you two are both stunning. I mean, I think we're all attractive people.
Yes.
And I think people are always surprised that like everybody has something that they fixate on in themselves. So if you guys don't mind talking about that.
I think this is an interesting conversation just to have with like girls in general, because I remember a point in high school where I didn't even know like people were insecure about certain things. Like we were having like one of those like hoorah girl moments where everyone was going around the room like sharing vulnerable things about themselves. And the amount of girls that went around the room and said that they were insecure about their noses, and they were like, I hate my nose. And I had never even noticed their noses, but I'd also like never thought to be insecure about my own nose. Like,
well, you have the cutest, you have the nose that people pay for.
Thank you. But I also like never thought that that was a thing people were insecure about.
You just didn't think about noses, period.
No, I'm more of a chin girl. That is my hyperfixation. When I'm looking at someone that I think is beautiful, I'm like, what does their chin look like? Do they have a good like chin? Because I previously, we can put a photo in, did not have a good chin. And that was something that for the longest time, like I probably noticed it in middle school. Like it's the slightest difference, but like my chin was much more like withdrawn. And I could not get over it for the longest time.
You noticed in middle school?
Middle school.
Do you remember a moment?
I think I was like looking at photos of girls, not girls, but like my classmates, and being like, why don't I look like that? Like what is off about my face that I don't like that I like about other people? And I came to the conclusion it was my chin. And ever since that point, I could not unsee it. You know what I mean? I was like, I just think I would be 10 times prettier if my chin came out further. And I didn't think it was like attainable for the longest time. Like at that point, I think we were still in my own mind, plastic surgery wasn't that accessible. Now you can go again to an injector and they can inject your chin with a vial or two and boom, you have a new chin. But that never even crossed my mind. But for the longest time, that was the thing I focused on, of like, what am I insecure about my face and what do I look for in other people to see? Like you guys both have great chins.
Wow.
Well, thank you for saying that.
But I feel like my chin is my big thing.
It's funny what you fixate on, because I do think it kind of like is something about yourself that you notice, and then you notice it in other people. Like mine has always been skin. Like I love good skin. I've always had acne, I've always had oily skin, and I've always had really big pores. So when I see somebody that has like flawless, poreless skin, I'm like, what'd you do? How'd you do that? Is that genetics? Because I tried everything. No, but I think like, yeah, like your insecurity is kind of what you notice in other people. Yeah.
It's like the first thing you like give someone credit for. You're like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. Like they have a great chin. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. They have clear skin. What's your Sheyda?
Yeah, Sheyda.
Tell us your biggest insecurity.
Tell us yours.
Mine was my nose. Mine was my nose. I am obviously, as we've talked about, part Middle Eastern, and I had a much wider nose. It was the same shape, but something that happened when I moved here was I got vocal nodules. I sing. And I went to Vanderbilt to get it fixed. And when I was in there, I was talking to the doctor about the fact that when I moved here, it's the Dust Bowl town is what they call this place. I was getting like 10 sinus infections a year, and they were sticking cameras up my nose and down my throat and everything to, get eyes on these vocal nodules. They sit on your vocal cords. And he was like, oh, that's probably because of your deviated septum. And I was like, well, while you're in there, can you just fix it? And he was like, no, you should only do one pathway really at a time, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. So then I kind of became fixated on getting that thing fixed because I was miserable all the time. And I ended up going to, I started researching, right? Like, because I didn't want to lose. And here's what I'll say about myself. Every time I've gotten something done, gotten Botox, gotten dermal filler, whatever it is I'm super insane about researching everything, like what brand, what type, who I should go to, exactly how I want things to look on my body, and looking at other people who look like me to figure out what's attainable for me and my type, my skin type, my body type, whatever it is. And so I knew that I needed to find somebody who specialized in Middle Eastern noses, and Dr. Nassif, who's like a well-known.
He does the show Botched.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's big time.
He's big time.
He
did this nose right here, girls.
he did do my nose.
You probably can't afford it. So don't Google it.
I went to him and at first I was just going to get a septoplasty, which is just to fix the deviated septum, right? So they don't change the shape at all. And literally like my appointment before my surgery, because we had a couple leading up to it, I was like, can you go ahead and just make it a little less wide? And so he did in fact make it. He cut some centimeters off the side, but it's the same shape otherwise, I would say.
Yeah, it's not like you got the Instagram nose.
No.
And I loved how you described earlier. You're like, I want to look like the best version of myself, but still look like myself. And I think that is truly probably the goal of like plastic surgery, but most people don't like themselves to begin with and they want to look like someone else, which is really sad.
Well, that's the problem.
Well, I think that's like something I've struggled with a lot growing up, is that like I look like a Middle Eastern girl, or I look like a girl that's, not American, not the beautiful white girl that I watched all the time on TV growing up, right? Like I always wanted to be blonde, and I always wanted the tiny nose, and I always wanted to be like the skinny, tiny little cute blonde with the big boobs that, all the boys in high school were running after. And it's taken so long for me to get to a place where I was like, no, that's not me. There's no way to have that, at all. It's completely unattainable for me. Like, how can I love my skin and where I'm at and appreciate what I have and make that the most beautiful version of itself? Mm-hmm. And I think that's kind of where my, I guess, quote unquote, beauty journey has stemmed from is really trying to figure out a way to love my culture and myself and my body and my face. And it's definitely been an interesting road, but being almost 33 now, I love that I am different. Now I love it. Mm-hmm. But I really didn't when I was younger.
Yeah. Well, I think that's like a trend of being younger. It's like you just want to fit in. You don't want to be different. Like having freckles. Nobody wanted freckles in 2008. But now, what's a popular selling makeup item? Freckle pens. People are permanently altering their face with freckle tattoos.
That's so true.
It's so true.
You are
now everyone wants to be different.
Huda's putting them freckles
Huda's
on.
got them. She got that freckle pen.
Is that a Love Island girl?
Yeah.
She's like the one that's making waves. Huda.
I've heard the name.
But she has an Instagram nose. She's Persian, and she got the Instagram nose.
Is she Persian?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She's from Iran, I think. Not to get political.
You can say the country name.
But she, if you look at her before and afters, she talked about getting a nose job on her Instagram, but you can tell hers is very much like the swoop D up B.
Yeah.
And it does take away a little bit of her, I think, natural beauty in the sense that it looks good, but it also looks like it's not supposed to be there, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's very pretty, but I did notice she had a tiny, tiny nose.
Yeah. What do you think people are doing right now? Right? If we could see all the trends that are happening.
It's the bleph. Everyone's getting a bleph, guys.
The upper bleph.
What is the upper bleph?
It's when they cut out a piece of your eyelid.
Oh.
But literally everyone I know is getting a bleph right now.
Brooke Schofield got one. And she got hate for that.
Yeah, she did.
Which I think everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
The bleph, the nose, dermal filler is huge. They're talking about this a lot. A lot of women are actually getting a lot of filler dissolved because a lot of women are getting what they're calling pillow face. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where it's just they've now injected everywhere and it's migrated out everywhere and it looks very scary. And that's kind of what's creating that Instagram face where everyone's looking the same. I didn't get filler until I was in my 30s for the first time. And I only have it, I think about probably now I probably have almost 2 full syringes in my lips. But and it's mostly my upper lip. I was not a fan of my upper lip.
And again, it's crazy. I never thought that you ever looked like you needed to get your lips done. But again, when it is done so tastefully and in such a natural way, it's like, oh my gosh, it does look better. But like, you're like, I would never have thought like, that bitch needs to get her lips done. You know what I mean?
Yes. And again, it's just like one of those things where I'm like, I don't want gigantic sausages, but I do. I mean, my lower lip isn't hugely bigger than it was originally. So I always noticed that my upper lip was just a hair too small in connection with my lower lip.
I'm the same way. My bottom lip is so much fuller than my top lip.
And so I was like, I just want them to be even. And that was where that came from. So the extent, for the record, the extent of my face work is a septo and rhinoplasty. Okay.
She had a deviated septum to begin with.
Okay, septo is for the deviated septum. And then Botox. I probably have about 80 units of Botox in this bad boy right now. And then I have filler in my lips. But that's it.
Amazing. I was one of those people that got their lips dissolved recently. So I had done when I was 22, I got one full syringe, and then I calmed it down, and I was just doing like half a syringe here, half a syringe there. And I think for a long time it was good. But then probably like 2 years ago, I overfilled my lips too bad again. And I started getting this really ducky look, and then immediately just migrated. And I was like, you know what? I think I lived with that migration for probably a solid year. And then, guys, I'm so cheap. I always go for like the free stuff. Like anytime I've ever had anything done, I also have had a syringe of something here. I don't even know. Like, you research, I don't know. I just go for the free stuff. Well, I haven't in like 4 years. So I did a thing here, and then I also did a thing here.
Yeah, but have you ever had the cheek stuff dissolved?
No.
Okay.
No, I haven't.
We'll talk about this afterwards. That's really concerning.
Do I look like shit?
No, you don't, but it's probably spread out.
Okay, well, I don't mind my cheeks, but I hated my lips. I felt like it migrated. And so probably about, 4 months ago, I went and dissolved my lips. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to fill my lips up again. Like, I just feel like I'm at a point now where I'm like, I don't even want to do it. I don't want to do it. Like, I'm almost like wanting to be like...
that. Do you want to age completely naturally?
No. But I will say this. I saw this thing, and it was like, if you look at the most beautiful older women, it's not the older women that don't have wrinkles. It's not the older women that don't look like they've aged. It's just the women that have taken care of themselves and are like confident in any version of themselves. And I love that. And I think that is like, that has actually weaseled something in my brain that I'm like, I'm not afraid to age. I'm in no way afraid to age. I just want to like love whatever version it is.
See, I always look at someone like a Jane Fonda, and I'm like, she looks impeccable. How old is she?
Or a Christy Brinkley.
She's like
80.
But those women have had work done their whole lives. They've just had really smart work done.
True, but also think about like the real women that haven't had stuff. Like, we look at a lot of celebrities.
Yeah, but who are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about my best friend's mom, who like looks incredible because she runs and she works out and she just like eats clean. You know what I mean?
But have you ever asked her if she's had anything done?
I know for a fact she hasn't.
Really?
Like, and again, she doesn't look younger than 65. It's not like she's looking younger. She just looks confident and happy and healthy. And I'm like, that to me feels beautiful. That's beautiful.
A comment on that, I think there is something to be said for, like, it really bugs me when you're not going to the gym and you're just blowing up your butt with a BBL and starving yourself.
Yeah.
And to me, and this is from someone who dies in the gym and hates going to the gym but goes to the damn gym and is really strict about my eating. Just because I've had such a long-standing weight journey and health journey, there is no health benefit, long-term, short-term, to buying physical anything.
Correct. Yeah.
Like, as far as like there's so many health issues surrounding BBLs. It's insane.
Terrible.
Like, it's really not good.
Yeah. It leaks into your body. It leaks into your bloodstream. Yeah, people have like passed away on the table because they lose like it's really risky.
And that's what I'm like, is it worth that much? You know what I mean? Like is fixing an insecurity that you could somehow learn to love about yourself worth dying for? I don't think so.
No. And that's, again, like, I'm the person that I'll go for the botulinum neurotoxin or I'll go for the dermal filler because there are decades of research on it, and I know that I'm not going to kill myself with it. And I'm not getting, do I want big boobs? I would love big boobs. I would love them. I would love them. I would love them. But I'm not going to do that to myself because I don't want to get breast implant illness. They also cause cancer. They'll do all kinds of horrible things to you. So I'm not going to do it, even though I'd love to. At some point in my life, I probably will get a fat transfer. But I'm going to go to a doctor who cleans the fat, does ozone cleaning with it, doesn't put any, because there's a lot of people who do, a lot of doctors who will charge you an asinine amount of money, far more than they should because they're Instagram famous, and they pump you up with saline, like they just put it right in there along with the fat, and then 2 months later your boobs have shrunk in half and they're like, whoop, the fat just didn't stay. And that's bullshit. It's a lie. They're not treating the fat correctly. They're not cleaning the fat correctly. They're not putting it in correctly, and they're not giving you an effective post-surgery care regimen, and you're screwing yourself. So again, that comes in the form of like, if you want to do these things to yourself, or if there's something about yourself that you want to change, you should be doing it in a healthy manner. You shouldn't go to Joe Schmo down the street and say, hey, can you go ahead and pop in 2 vials of tar into my mouth? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I get that there are people who don't have the financial means to like go to the best guy, but I didn't go to the best guy when I went and, well, I think of her as the best girl when I went and got my lips done, but I went and researched like all the people in Nashville that I could find, and I looked at all the lips that she had done, and I went and I had a consultation with her, and I talked to her about the way that she injected, because I had also researched the way I wanted to be injected, because there's something called the Russian lip technique where they don't inject in your familiar line, which is this kind of tube that you have that sits on the corner of your mouth, which creates that duck look that pushes out instead of injecting down and pulling away, which creates more volume from the bottom of your lip, right? Like, those are things I spend time learning. So don't be an idiot and trust anybody with your body or your mind or anything else.
So I went to Joe Schmo down the street.
Yeah, which is shocking. Summer.
So I had an injury. I had a traumatic injury on my butt cheek where I was rollerblading, and my sister was with me, and went a little too crazy on the parkway. I had a fall on the greenway, and I fell on one butt cheek harder than I blacked out. And my butt cheek swelled up to the size of a softball. It turned black and blue, and immediately I knew that I was going to have issues. I couldn't sit on that butt cheek for like 6 months. And then suddenly it kind of like turned into this like pocket of like scar tissue in my butt cheek. And this was my favorite butt cheek. Like, it was the good one. It was the big one. It was the plump one. It was the round one. And I'm still upset about it. So last year at some time I was like, you know what, let me try and see if I can.
She's not dramatizing this, by the way, guys. You could see this through the leggings.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can. You could
actually see it.
It's like a tumor. If I bent over, it's like a hard whatever.
We go to the gym together, and she would, get down for a deadlift, and it would pop out.
It was like it was a hard scar tissue. Anyway, so I went to Joe Schmo. Now, granted, he really wasn't Joe Schmo. Like, he's a Green Hills plastic surgeon, but I definitely didn't do my research. I was just like, yeah, you can do a fat transfer where you take fat from my love handles and just pump that part of my butt cheek so that it will maybe like fill up and look better. And I was like, yeah, we could try it. It was like $700. It was like cheap. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should not be able to get lipo and a fat transfer for $700. But you know what? I'm like willing to try anything once. You know what I mean? So I go and I do it, and whatever. He puts me in this like weird little thong thing. I'm in the paper robe. He lays me down.
Are you under anesthesia for it or no?
Just local.
Oh.
So they just he basically like pumped my love handles with numbing. Mm-hmm. I'm laying face down on the table in this like random office room. I immediately got so nervous. Like I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I unfortunately look over and I see the thing that they're shoving in me, and all I can feel is them going like this, like sucking out some of the fat. And I mean, I was like, my blood must have been like pumping really, really fast. He was like, are you okay? And I was like, I don't know, am I? Like, I just didn't want to feel the pain of like the lipo. I shouldn't have been awake. Like it was bad. Anyway, he pumps my butt cheek with it. Doesn't filter it, doesn't clean it. I mean, I don't know what he was doing. I just didn't look at after that point, but it was quick. Like there's no way.
Summer's like on her phone under the table.
It was like, hey guys, crazy thing happening right now. Anyway, so they pump me with
getting
it.
lipo.
Yeah, they pump me to it. They like put some Band-Aids over the lipo scars. Like literally, I was out the door. They were like, yeah, you can drive home. I just drove home like on one cheek like this. And then he was just like, just don't sit on the cheek for like a couple days. So I just was like laying on my stomach, like doing work on the bed. Like, and that's how I had to be. But yeah, I got lipo and a fat transfer. So yeah, I did get a BBL. And if I do get BBL allegations, I got a BBL.
Wait, was this one of those same day you like went in for the consult and they're like, we could hook you up right now?
No, it wasn't the same day. It was like, we'll get you in 2 weeks.
Okay.
But
have you noticed a change?
No, but also I just don't really notice it anymore. It's definitely gone. I think the scar tissue has gone down. I do more like what's this thing called?
Oh yeah. What is that called?
Fascia blast.
Yeah, fascia blaster.
Fascia blast. And I do that on my butt a little bit more.
You should definitely.
But then also like just with like weightlifting and being a little bit more intentional about building my muscle, I think has helped. I don't know. I think I just don't really
The fascia blasting is probably what's helping you the most, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
That is, it's definitely scar tissue.
Yeah.
It could be like, I don't know what the term is, like when the blood, like when it's like
a blood blister.
Yeah, well, like when it's like calcified hardened, almost. Yeah,
hemo,
in there.
Hemo something.
Yeah, like he probably should have gone in there and broken that up.
Yeah.
But didn't you get stuff for that? Like someone injected the butt to like break it up, right?
I had somebody come to my house and do like acupuncture and like stick needles in my butt, and she was like forcing it in there. She's like, damn, this is like leather. Like she couldn't get it through the scar tissue. No, like it's like a whole thing. But going back to what I said before though, that's why I'm kind of like, I think I'm just at a point where like, I'll definitely do Botox again. I've only done it once. I will probably do fillers at some point again, but I am not that interested in it right now. I'm just not. Like I think I'm kind of in that point where I'm like, I just want to like feel really good. I think I'm feeling better about like my fitness in general. And I think that in general just makes me feel better. Mm-hmm. And all this other stuff that I obsess about when I'm not feeling my best, I'm kind of like, I don't really care, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I feel like there have been points very recently where I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't look like I'm 21 anymore. Like I don't want to look 21 anymore because I think that was also crazy and I didn't have my chin back then. But I feel like there's been points very recently where I'm like, I feel so much more mature in the way that I look and I like it. Like I love feeling more like womanly almost, and less like, it's crazy because I look at girls that are like 18 now and I'm like, you look so young. Like you are just so youthful and little, and I love that. But like you'll probably be 10 times prettier in 10 years.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Like I feel like the face in general, when you get older, the face like trims out a bit. Like all your features just like settle into themselves and you just like look, I think late 20s, early 30s, maybe even into late 30s, like you just look stunning.
Yeah.
Your face is like how you're supposed to look.
And I think that's also the problem with people kind of getting carried away with filler and stuff right now is, I don't know if you've noticed this, the girls on Love Island, when they come in, they're like, I'm the new bombshell and I'm 22. And I'm like, you look 35.
Yes. You look 35.
Yes. And I'm like, it's so, I mean, they're gorgeous. These are like the most beautiful girls you will ever see. But I'm like, you
they
look
age themselves. The
so
work
much
ages
older than you are. Like, I don't understand. And it's crazy because everyone just like wants to look so much older. And then you hit a certain point and you're like, all I want to do is look younger.
Yeah.
And it's,
I've had guys guess my age before, and something I've heard a lot is like, they're like, I can't tell the difference between 25 and 35.
No,
That's
so
they're like,
true.
on girls, I cannot tell the difference between 25 and 35 because
honestly, at this point, 21 and 35.
yeah, on some women, yeah. Because they get all the stuff done, and then they've just like, it's almost like they've hardened themselves in a way.
Yeah.
that ages them, and whereas older women are getting things to like soften and plush and whatever, like they figured out the matrix of doing that to reverse. The girls who are getting it done really young harden and it looks older.
Well, doesn't that go back to Instagram face? Like, are we doing too much at too young? Like,
100% we are.
what is that pressure? And like, can we reverse that? Is it just a trend?
Unfortunately, I think the pressure is specifically social media. Like, I don't think people were meant to see this many faces.
There's many good looking faces.
Yeah.
You weren't meant to be around that many, like, exposed to that many faces.
1,000%. Like, think about the prettiest girl that was like in your middle school class. Like, that girl to me was like and I can think about who it was right now, was the prettiest girl I'd ever seen in my entire life. And she probably is still very pretty, but like in comparison to all of the like Instagram models I see now on a daily basis, I'm like, oh, that's just Jill. You know what I mean?
Has it cheapened beauty? If everybody is beautiful, is anybody beautiful?
You know, I listened to this guy say something on TikTok where he's like, and he was like, this is literally the crime of social media in today's world. He's like, I will go on a date. I will open up Hinge. I will meet a girl. I will go on a date. She'll be stunning. She'll be funny. We'll get along. We'll have a good night kiss and it'll be impeccable. I'll think about it all night long. And then I'll wake up the next morning. I'll open the app and I'll start talking to a new set of women.
Beautiful.
And he's like, because I'm just like, what's the next beautiful thing? Like, it's almost like, what else is, you know,
Yeah.
what new flavors can I try? And it's kind of, and you know what? I think this affects men a little bit, but it doesn't affect men at all in the same way. I think men do treat pretty women kind of a dime in a dozen, because really when you think about women, like we're all kind of like, I don't know any women who I wouldn't consider at least cute. Do you know what I mean? Like, I look around and I'm like, every girl I know I would at least describe as cute or pretty, and then I get to beautiful, sexy, bombshell. Like that is how I would just like. I don't really have
Stunning,
women.
exquisite, gorgeous.
But I seriously don't
She
have
got categories.
I
10 out of
don't
10.
have. I've never come upon a girl where I'm like, she butt ass. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not a thing. But I think it's because women are like, you're almost bullied from a young age by our own mothers, but because because it's thousands of years in the making at this point, where women are supposed to be beautiful, elegant. We're supposed to be something that men like to look at. Do you know what I mean? And it's so from a young age, it's like, you should be skinny. You should be going to the gym. You have to learn how to curl your hair. Here are these tools that you use to paint on your face every day. And like, it was the wildest thing. I remember I had a friend who, because I don't wear makeup every day. I really don't. I only wear makeup if I'm going out or for like this. Every day to work, I don't wear any makeup. And they were like, oh, you're not going to wear makeup to work? And I'm like, no. Like,
It's a waste of makeup. Makeup is expensive.
First of all, it's a waste of makeup because it costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars. But second of all, like, this is just my face. Like, every day I want to wake up and look at my face and like my face. And I don't want to be shocked. I don't want to be in this place where I feel like I can't leave my home and just have my face be my face and like that.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you almost have to like train yourself. If you're somebody that wears makeup a lot or every day, if you almost have to train yourself to like the unmakeup version. Otherwise, you just get so used to seeing, like, I don't wear mascara every day. I wear it here. But like Lily and I were talking, my sister and I were talking about it. It's like, I don't wear mascara and I like my face without mascara. And then when I put it on, I'm like, boop, like, ooh, that's like a nice little pop. Like, it's almost like a fun surprise for myself that I'm like, oh, I'm doing extra.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, what were you just talking about?
I was going in on how it's different on the male side of things, because men are taught the opposite, right? Or they have been up until now, where their value isn't in the physical, but it's in the monetary, right?
Yeah.
But there are almost no barriers to entry to beautiful women these days.
Right.
Like
anybody can be beautiful.
Anybody can be beautiful, but also any man can have a beautiful woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost because more and more women are required to be independent, money making, home owning, college educated, and also have double D's and a beautiful face and perfectly coiffed. Like that the things that we're expecting of men, it feels like less and less almost.
Okay, so I want to tie this back to something we've talked about, I think, on an episode here, which is like, there's some statistic that's like 90% of women are wanting the 10% of the top men, right? Whatever the physical stature, the financial, whatever that is, that man. And like 90% of women are competing for that. And I think maybe in the past, it was a smaller batch of women that maybe could get the attention of those 10% of men. But now, because anybody can be beautiful, which is great. Like, again, I think feel good, whatever. But it like, do you see what I'm saying? It almost,
we also have so much access to each other now.
Access
you know what
to
I mean?
each other. So we see what everybody's doing. It's like, I feel like the playing field is just really messed. It's really out of whack.
It's really out of whack. But I all that to say, like, it wouldn't hurt if men also, got in the field of like betterment, self-improvement,
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like women, you go to a workout class and it is one filled with women, and they're there at 5 a.m. or 8 p.m. at night. Like, I just feel like women take such good care of themselves. Like, I love the like community of just women that are constantly looking to like better themselves. And I feel like it literally is all women. Like the Nashville like girls groups, everyone's like, well, what can I do to fix this thing about myself? Or like, what can I, does anyone know any good like nutrition? Like, women are constantly, our mindset is to like, how can I be better? How can I improve myself? And men are just so okay, unfortunately, with being complacent. And I think they are allowed to be in certain terms, because their only expectation from society for the past however long has just been to provide monetarily. There's been no like, you also need to be doing other things as well. Like, I just saw this TikTok and I hope I do it justice, but like this girl was saying, a good man is a mediocre woman. They are kind, they are funny, they're smart, they're beautiful. Like, those are the bare minimum for a guy. And that, I mean, like, literally is a great partner of what you're looking for. A kind, funny, smart, intelligent, like good looking person.
Yeah.
And that is literally every woman I know.
Well, more women have bachelor degrees now. More single women own homes than men. I mean, we have leveled up in a lot of ways over the last generation.
We've been forced to.
And also thank you to the women that have come before us. But it's out of whack.
And this isn't like a man-hating podcast, but like I just feel like men need a little bit of a reality check in a sense. And they're probably not listening to this podcast, but I hope that...
We don't know. Some men could be listening. And the answer is, boys, go to a dermatologist, go to the gym, and maybe...
Eat good.
You know what my biggest tip to a man is? Read a romance novel.
Oh, read a romance novel, please.
Like,
please.
Like the idea that you are so confused about what women want, and women went out and made an entire literary genre to give you the passcodes, the keywords,
It's the how-to.
the tips, the tricks,
The step-by-step.
the step-by-steps, and you guys are like, should I know you took?
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
How do we do what?
Not only that, but now you're making fun of it. You're like, oh, you're reading
your fairy book now?
You want to have sex with centaurs? Yeah, I do. I do. And dragons. And fairies.
Oh God, but it's so true. It's like you couldn't be handed more answers, and girls have been pushed to figure out how to handle men and figure out how to be successful in life and all these things, and men have kind of gotten away with just doing the bare minimum. And it's like, no, like, you know what, go ask your local hot girl how to level up. She'll help you.
She will.
I will help you
Gladly, because you know what, she's kind and she's generous and she wants to.
Read a romance
smart.
novel, go to the gym, get up your protein, do a little self-care skin routine.
A little self-care. Like, literally take care of yourself.
On
That's
a
the
date,
bare
It's
minimum.
so sexy.
On a date, ask at least 5 questions, please God.
Okay, ladies, I'd love to round this out. So
I don't know how we got there.
we don't know how we got there,
really
but I
went on
loved it.
tangent.
I love that. I love a tangent. Okay.
Something you did say before we
What?
end this out, though, is
I got my boobs out.
What we want to do.
you said, is this empowerment or addiction?
Oh.
Addiction.
I think what once was maybe empowerment is now shifting towards addiction. I think if people didn't have such messed up mental health I think, how am I trying to phrase this?
Here's what I'll say. I think you should love who you are before you change who you are.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean? Or at least have appreciation for what you are, where you come from, your makeup, right? Like,
How do you have appreciation for not having a chin though?
And also, can you love yourself and still want to change yourself? Like, can you truly love yourself and change yourself?
I think that is more of where it comes from. It's like almost like the instant gratification and the thought behind why are you doing this?
Why are you doing
like
that?
Again, and
Who's it for?
I'm not that. I thought about my chin for years, and it's not the type of thing that you can go in. Well, I guess now you can, but like even with your lips, like you're not going. You shouldn't be going in and day one, first consult you have, putting 2 syringes in your lips. Like it is just being more thoughtful with it. I think would be beneficial for the entire.
Well, and also
industry.
going in and thinking it's going to make you more confident and change your
Yes.
life. You
Yes.
should go in saying, I'm so hot. I just want to be hot with a little bit bigger lips.
Yes.
well, I think that's kind of the thing that I touched on earlier with like wanting to be the best version of Sheyda. Like you shouldn't go in somewhere and say, I want you to make me, I should, if I'm walking into an office and saying, I want you to make me look like Pamela Anderson, like the answer is therapy, not a surgeon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's never going to happen unless I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars
and you will
changing.
never look like Pamela Anderson.
it'll never
changing
look
my
real.
Yeah.
changing my entire facial structure. No, like I love my Middle Eastern heritage. I want to keep my Middle Eastern nose. I just want it 3 centimeters less wide. I love the shape of my mouth. I just want a little more volume up top. Like, would I be happy and would I do the same things and go after the same things if my face was any different? No, I would do the exact same thing. And I was in my 20s before I ever changed anything about my face. The Botox I had in my forehead to stop from hard lines, there wasn't any change that I made. And the only thing I ever think I really hated about my body was the weight issue. And that was tied to a health problem that I live with every day. But I think that, where we do have to be a little scared is when you're taking out $600 loans for
Don't take out loans.
for lip fillers. But I mean, that's a funny anecdote on your end, because I really don't think you have that sort of issue. But it does speak to people who are taking out hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans and flying to Turkey to change their whole face.
They're becoming another person.
They're becoming another person.
I think
And that's unhealthy.
I think you're correct.
That is addiction. That's a sickness. But you being like, I'd like, half an inch more in my chin just for symmetry is a lot different than, saying I'd like you to give me blue eyes and bleach out all my freckles.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's it. I think if we had to like round this out and put a stamp on it, it's changing yourself isn't going to change your life. It's not going to necessarily make you a new person or make you more confident. I really think going into whatever you want to do, just knowing who you are, not trying to change everything about yourself, just tweaking maybe where you want to make little improvements. I don't see any problem with that, but know why you're doing it and know who you're doing it for. If you're doing it for anybody else, if you're doing it for societal pressure, I think that's a very easy trap to fall into. I think you just have to do what makes you feel good. And if that's a little bit of lip filler, then
So be it.
so be it. Don't take out the loan, but baby, go get that lip filler. Mwah, mwah. Anything else, ladies?
I think that's it.
That's all I got for you.
All right. Stay beautiful.